Hey guys, how are you doing? I'm Arushi and I've come to the US to pursue my master's from Carnegie Mellon. My port of entry was Seattle, and in this video, I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions related to immigration. So let's get started. So there are two very important things that I want to talk about what not to bring to the US. Number one, to not bring anything white or in a powder format to the US. You're just calling for some extra checks. I wanted a very smooth onboarding process for myself, and that is why I did not carry anything which was white and in a powder form. I mean, definitely, if you want to bring glucose or anything in a white or powder form, you that may be called for some extra security checks. But I think it's best to just avoid it, because if you're like me and if you're coming to the US for the first time, then I think it's very important that you do not take some stress about this particular thing, because there are hundreds of other things to take stress about. That was one. The other thing is, I've seen a lot of articles about and a lot of people talking about not bringing seeds to the US. So I've actually brought seeds to the US, but those seeds are either roasted or they are cooked. You cannot bring seeds to the US which can grow into a plant, because apparently those can carry diseases and be bad for the US soil. But otherwise, if your seeds, for example, pumpkin seeds or cardamom, if it's processed, if it's roasted, if it's cooked, if it's in a form such that it cannot grow into a plant, such that it cannot contaminate the soil, then it's totally all right to bring them here. Yeah, so let's talk about the documents that you need to carry while coming to the US. Uh, Mainly, you can find all of these things on an online article. Uh, it contains your passport, your I-20, your offer letter, any other documents that support your admission to the particular university, your original mark sheets, transcripts, uh, everything that can mark you as a original person. You need to bring them here. I mean, I wanted to bring everything here, even though I'm pretty sure 90% of those documents won't even come to my use. But I just like to be very extra prepared with my documents. So I had actually divided all my documents in three sets. The first set contained all the documents that I would need for immigration. The second set contained my original copies of my transcripts, graduation certificates, and other things. And my third copy was a photocopy set that wasn't really needed, because I had online, because everyone has digital copies of all the documents, but I just wanted to be extra prepared in case I needed to furnish any of the copies. So I just kept it. It was a bit unnecessary, but that's just me. Another important question that pops up is when your port of entry is quite farther away from your college. For me, my port of entry was Seattle on the west coast, and my college is Carnegie Mellon, which is on the east coast. So it is just across the country. But there are some certain things that you can always keep in mind to be relaxed. This is totally fine if your port of entry is quite farther away from college for whatever reason. Maybe it's more economical. Maybe you want to spend a couple of days with someone else and then go to your college. Whatever the reason, it's totally okay. The number one thing that I would suggest is, if your port of entry is quite farther away, you need to buy air tickets to your college. In case the immigration officer asks you or anything, you always have documents to furnish saying that even though that you want that you're spending a couple of days in this particular city, or you're entering from here, but this is how you plan to go to your college city. So with me, I have already booked my tickets to Pittsburgh from Seattle. I booked them quite earlier, and I was also carrying the set of ticket with my travel documents. In case the immigration officer had asked me about anything related to this, I would have furnished the ticket. I would have told him that I've come here to spend a couple of days with my family, and then I'm going to be moving to Pittsburgh. So it's totally okay. You just need to be very clear about what date you're first traveling to your college town. So I'll talk about my experience about how I flew to the US. So I left my city on the 18th. I came to Mumbai on 19th. I had an early morning Turkish airline flight on 20th morning. I checked in from Mumbai. It was a 7-hour flight to Istanbul. I had given in my luggage to be collected directly at Seattle. Istanbul, I had a 3-hour layover, which was very comfortable for me. Istanbul's airport is really great, and there were no problems with the Turkish Airlines as such. Like, there were no problems. And yeah, so I had 3 hours of layover. Then I boarded the flight again. It was a 12-hour flight to Seattle. The journey is really beautiful from Istanbul to Seattle. I'm pretty sure it must be beautiful even if you're departing from any other place, but I really liked it. Um, I got to Seattle after a 22-hour journey. I first had to pick up my checked-in luggage, and then I had to go for the passport security, that is immigration. So even though it was a huge line, I had to wait like 1.5 hour in the line to get to the counter. When I got there, I was a bit nervous. Usually I'm always nervous, but I was a bit nervous about getting to the counter. I was just prepping myself that I've done everything right, I have all my documents. I just had to do it very calmly and confidently. So I went up to the counter. I passed my I-20 and my passport to the visa officer. I was expecting to be asked a bunch of questions. I just furnished it to the officer. He looked at the documents and he said, "You can go." It was 5 seconds, maybe less than that. It was just that I asked the officer again, "Is everything okay? Can I really go?" And he said, "Yes, you can leave." So that was my immigration experience. He did not ask me anything. I just went there. I furnished. You just need to give them two documents: your passport and your I-20, and that's it. At least that it was such a way for me. I wasn't asked anything, and I walked out of the airport. That's it. It was a super easy process. It seems a bit daunting, but yeah, you just need to be very calm and very confident. You should know your shit about what you're doing, about where you're going, and what are the steps that you're going to take. If all of these things are clear, there is no reason anyone can stop you. So yeah, all the best, and let me know if you have any other questions that I can help you answer. Okay, bye.